Selamat pagi semua. Thank you everyone for coming, and I think I will be anticipating more students to come, especially for undergraduate students. Okay, so today we invite Dr. Siti Salwa. Okay, so she is a good friend of mine, and she is in University Technology Brunei. Okay, so she's a practitioner in design and also lecturing on design, industrial design. Okay, so she is very much an expert and the right person for us to explain to us what is actually design thinking. Okay, especially for innovation management course, it is actually one of the chapters. And next week on 6th of June, we will practice also design thinking. But I'm sure that we need more inputs about or insights from a practitioner. What is design thinking, so that you guys will be more confident to do the group assignment next week, which is next Saturday. Okay. So without further ado, Dr. Salwa, boleh kita persilakan Dr. Salwa nanti untuk just sembang-sembang je santai-santai kan Dr. Salwa about design thinking
Yeah,
and your experiences. Okay, terima
santai
kasih
ya.
banyak Doktor.
Okay, all right.
Terima kasih.
Okay, so if let's say that
Mhm.
you have any question kan, you just raise up your hand and you boleh in the meantime boleh tanya je terus. Okay, all right. So we will start. I will start with Assalamualaikum lah and good morning to everyone. As mentioned by Dr. Alin just now lah, Dr. Alin ni actually I ada soft spot sikit lah, okay, because dia punya arwah dad adalah saya punya lecturer masa tahun 1998 ya. So lamalah saya ni dah tua lah. So masa tu kita tengok Dr. Alin kecil lagi. Sekarang ni tak sangka dah jadi orang yang invite saya untuk bagi sedikit sharing session lah dengan you all ya. Okay, so I will start with introducing myself lah, okay. Nama saya macam Dr. Alin cakap tadi, Siti Salwa, okay. So I'm an assistant professor at product design program, School of Design at University Technology Brunei. Okay, so uh, my background is industrial design, which I'm focusing on product design, human-centered design, and innovation-driven projects. Okay, today, hari ni I will be sharing a session with you guys. Okay, it's a basic fundamental of design thinking, but the insight is from product design perspective and human-centered innovation. So I because you guys are from innovation management, so it's really related with product design practice and human-centered innovation lah. Okay. So with today kan, I will explore a little bit about how design thinking can support problem solving, innovation, and decision making beyond traditional design field. Okay, so that means we have traditional design field before this, and innovation in design thinking will be a paradigm shift for us to change the way of our innovation strategy. All right. Okay. So I will also share some examples, okay, from my own product practice, which throughout the session. But if we have time, I will share more. But for this sharing session, I will only be sharing with you with one project, and the rest I will show you the surface on how we use design thinking in development of service, development of product, development of uh, improve a service system, etc., etc. Okay. All right. So before this, I introduce a bit lah about myself lah. Currently, I'm a remote visiting research fellow at University of Science and Technology Norway. Starting last year, 2025, it will end up until 2027. So my project at the moment with University of Technology Norway is related on prototyping, on how prototype can enhance co-creation process. So my PhD project is related with Lego and other material as a prototyping tools in co-creation process. Yeah, so that means my project are more related with Lego company lah. All right, so with Lego company Denmark. So I did a research with them. All right, okay. Then my PhD is PhD of engineering. Industrial design engineering, and I obtained my master from University of Sunderland, so that means majoring in product and furniture design, and my bachelor of course from UiTM Shah Alam lah. My bachelor is more on industrial design. Okay, all right, so now our lecture goal for today is like I want to show you on how design thinking is not only for designer or artist, yeah, because some people they thought that design thinking is only for the designer, but actually it's a strategic way of problem solving. Okay, so for this lecture, because this is like I assume that everyone have a zero knowledge of design thinking. Maybe you have some info, but I assume that today is only an introduction about design thinking as a strategic problem solving, which is its approach, it's beyond the aesthetic value on how it can create innovation, it can give business value, and it also can have a multiple solution and pathway across our organization. Because I think some of you is like professional working people, which that you can use this to you can use design thinking to solve issues in your office, at your office, or any product development or project development that you encountered for your future. Okay, all right. So why design thinking matters today? Why it matters? Okay, because in the past, there's a lot of company, especially manufacturing company, design company, they have everyone have access on the similar technologies. Okay, we give example, iPhone, Samsung, they have similar technologies. They have like they have apa Bluetooth, they have like touch screen, they have like iCloud and everyone is competitive, the same uh, technology and manufacturing. But how design thinking can help to improve our product services? Okay, it's like this is a current challenge. With that we can with design thinking we can help to understand people better, to understand their frustration, to understand their emotion, and to understand their motivation. So why we we think design we not we I think it's all the designers that use design thinking. They think it matters because it can improve people thinking, people emotion, and what people needs. Okay, so that is how the competitive of market now, all right, when they have similar technology, similar uh, manufacturing, what they can improve user experience. Okay, so that means bila kita tengok before this, yeah, people that use iPhone, they don't want to change to another type of phone because they used to have a good experience by using iPhone. They don't want to change to Android. People that use Android, they don't want to change to iPhone because they think that they have a better experience using Android. So that is why design thinking matters, because it will help the company or organization improve, okay, improve people experience, people feel, and people needs. All right, so if you can see from here, this is like why it matters for any companies that use design thinking. Okay, because we need something to differentiate our product, and we need human experience that can become our advantage to our product. Right, okay, so we need to know at least a basic simple definition of design thinking. Everything that we have a term, okay, it always been debated that this is a term. Even design pun people tak boleh get in apa agreement what is design mean actually. Okay, so I just pick a simple definition of design thinking for us to lebih explore what is design thinking. Okay, so one of the definition is from David Kelly, founder of EDO. All right, so he mentioned that it's a creative and systematic approach to problem solving. Okay, and of course he mentioned it's about we should understand human needs. All right, okay, so that is one simple definition. And we go to another definition from Harvard Business Review. It also stated about human-centered approach. So that means both of the organization, they emphasize on people. Okay, so design thinking is about people. It's about human-centered approach that combines empathy, creativity, experimentation, and strategic thinking. So we can see that almost the similar definition is about problem solving, it's about an approach, and it's about understanding human needs. Okay, all right, so we go in depth further, all right, about how design thinking have been introduced before. Okay, so it been introduced by Tim Brown. Yeah, it been introduced by Tim Brown and David Kelly from EDO and Stanford School. Okay, so EDO ni one of the pioneer company in design lah. They combine a lot of multidisciplinary multidisciplinary terms to be together in their punya company. Okay, they combine furniture, they combine strategic management, they combine service design to be in one because they think that design should include every domain. All right. Okay. So for them, of course, they mentioned about design thinking is a creative problem solving, as I mentioned it before for the definition, and it's also is a human-centered design process. So this is the process that you can see. And to go deeper about what is design thinking definition, so I give you the example of design thinking definition, which also it mentioned about creative problem solving. It's focused on techniques and methods that integrate, to innovation process. It have to be in early development. So we as a researcher or as a person or as a designer can start to understand and implemented what we need in our design process or in our innovation process. Okay, so as we mentioned a few times just now, it's about understand user. Okay, it's about understand user. All right, so you need to remember design thinking, they have 5 pieces, which is that we will explore more in our next slide. Okay, so the phases of design thinking will almost used by all the researcher, all the strategic management people, all the designer in their process. Whether we think it, we do not use it, actually we use it every day, but we don't think that is design thinking because we think that is other method, because actually other method pun is almost the same. Okay, all right, so the difference between traditional problem solving versus design thinking, as you can see here, this is a traditional approach which I try to make it a simplified version to you, and this is design thinking. As we know that traditional approach, it solve quickly problem. Okay, but design thinking, we need to understand deeply. Okay, we need to understand deeply of the needs. All right, and traditional approach, normally we only need one correct answer, but for design thinking we need to have multiple possibilities. Okay, and for traditional approach we focus on efficiency. All right, but design thinking we focus on the people. Okay, not the user, the people. Okay, why? Because user, people, it's in the whole, it combine of stakeholder, it combine user, it combine people that use it indirect or directly. But when we say user, it's only on the people that use your product. But design thinking, they focus on everyone. Okay, people that will buy your product, not necessarily will use your product. Okay, and traditional approach, of course, it's linear process. But for design thinking, it's iterative process. And traditional approach, it's more on assumption driven. But for your design thinking, it's more on user driven. Okay, so normally we will start with a question: how do we improve the product? And why people struggle with the experience in the first place. So we need to study in depth about that. Okay. All right. So now we will go to the design thinking process. Just now I'll show you on the difference between traditional and design thinking process. Now I will show you. We will explore more about the design thinking process. Okay, so this is one of the design thinking process from interaction design. Okay, which that people will normally use this because it's almost the same. And you need to remember when we have design thinking, it is a non-linear. It's really need to be a non-linear process. Okay, it really need to be a non-linear process, which is that. Hold on, yeah. Okay, it will be iteratively. So that means although there are many versions of the design thinking, but almost all the researcher, they follow these 5 core stages. So this is, we have a 5 core stages, which is that we have empathize, we have define, we have ideate, we have prototype, and we have test. Okay, so I will show you from a different design thinking process. This is like from Stanford Design School. Yeah, so similar with the first one, it's also have empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. And Stanford Design School, they make it more in depth on each of the cases, which that they introduce a method on each of the process. So this method is only a basic method, which that people can take as their judgment on what they can use the method to use during the pieces. Okay, all right, so it's as a benchmark or as a guideline to the designer. All right, then another one is a 5 stage of design thinking from Springboard. So if you can see from this one, it's a bit like clear on how it's iteratively changed. You can see that it can be starting on other point, it can move, it can change to anywhere. So I think if you can see from this one, it's better. You can see the arrow. It may be from empathize, maybe sometime you can test, and then you can go to ideate again, and you can test again. So it is not a linear process, it's an iterative process. So when you start to use design thinking, not necessary you have to follow empathize, define, ideate like this one. Okay, it can be any starting point that you think it's possible. So design thinking is not a rigid process. It is a non-linear process. You need to remember that if you have a exam to answer or you have quiz to answer, that is the main point that you need to know. Okay. All right. So this is the from Springboard. I already mentioned it to you. And we have like also some researcher or organization, they propose 6. Okay. Commonly, some company, they present it 5 stages, but some different school of thought, okay, some institution, they propose 6 phases of process. So they add on implementation. Okay, because like after you test, you need to implement, or maybe you go and ideate again and you test again, then you implement again. So they add on implementation. So either way, it's okay as long as you follow whatever design school of thought that you want. Okay, or you can use your own design thinking process. You embed it from any other maybe from EDO or Springboard for you to develop your own way of thinking process. So you can see that this is the different lah. Okay, different organization and school of thought, they structured different thinking process, but they still share the same human-centered approach. Okay, so I show you that this is the 6 design school of thought. Like IBM also, they have their design thinking model, which that they know that all the 6 items will be inside here. Okay, so the Google design sprint process, they use like understand concept on this one. So Indian human and then also need familiar lah kot, because you all quite familiar with double diamond model. So yang ini pun some people, they have that divergence and convergence to develop the design, but similar, they still use human-centered inside the design thinking process. Okay, all right, so we go further for a process. So I will explain to you, all right, each of the process satu-satu lah, because we got like 5 process. All right, then I will show you some example of the process. Anyway, okay, empathy, all right, is the most important stages in design thinking. Okay, selalunya from empathy ni a bit lama lah, because we need to we don't want to rely on our assumption, yeah, because some people, when you work in a company, the research is doing by your marketing department. So you are the one that will design. You tak boleh pergi buat research tu because marketing department buat design. Then you only get a second hand information, which is that you as a designer or as a strategic planner, you need to go and do your research together with your marketing department, because like designer, okay lah, sorry because kita bukan semua designer kat sini, but I just cerita based from designer perspective lah, okay. Alright, because like when designer, kita dah traditional way, we rely on assumptions. Okay, we did survey. Kita hantar 500 questionnaire to the people, but they jawab dengan apa yang kita nak. That mean close-ended question. But for design thinking, kita kena guna open-ended because we want to know the actual feeling of the people, and we go in depth to study them. Okay, alright. So bila kita more assumption, sometimes it lead to our failure product because kita yang assumption, kita yang nak benda tu. So that is why really important the empathy ni, because we need to be with the people. Okay, so this is the empathize punya process. Okay, so as you can see that system concept, they give some benchmark or some guideline for us to do empathize, which is that how we need to develop a deeper understanding of your user. Okay, so they suggested that you need to consolidate what you do and don't know. Okay, so that means before you pergi kepada you punya people that yang you nak study tu, you need to know basic information about them. Apa yang you tahu, apa yang you tak tahu. And then secondly, you need to connect with your audience, your user, and then you kena tahu what type of approach, what type of method that you want to study with them or you nak interview with them, and you need to observe and learn on how to ask them, and then you need to develop and share your understanding and empathy of the result that you got. Okay, so this is a basic guideline. All right, okay, so this is the empathy map. All right, for you, for people or for you to use when you go for your user research. Okay, all right, so this is, you need to see their world, okay, the actual, what they feel, okay, you need to be there, all right, and you need to appreciate them as human beings, okay, you need to understand their feelings, okay, then you communicate your understanding. So this is about your level. So from this, you need to communicate what you understand from your research with a deeper understanding of the people, not assumption. Okay, you need to be in their world, you need to be in their shoes. Okay, all right, so I give basic sikit lah information about during the empathize phase, yeah. Okay, during the empathize phase ni, you kena make sure you got to know the user, mesti, all right, because you need to understand their needs and wants and objective. That means you need to observe them, engage them, okay, with the people or with you, all right, and you need to understand their psychological and emotional level during your interview session or observation with them. Okay, kiranya when you're empathize ni, you kena faham betul-betul. You need to sit down with them, you need to get more information with them, you need to dig the information from them. Okay, so itu semua tu kena plan. You kena ada cara lah. Okay, alright. So maybe for cara tu, Dr. Alin will explain to you more lah on the 6th nanti ni. Alright, macam saya hari ni saya memang sentuh surface sahaja dahulu. Alright, okay. So kita sentuh sikit lah for you how untuk you planning for your data collection lah for empathize session. Alright, so selalunya you need to know what is your project headline. Mesti you kena tahu dulu project you ni is about apa. Okay, what is your design brief? What is the issue? All right. Okay, then you need to have a little bit about your product description. Okay, so project description. Sorry. So let's say that your challenge is food security in Pekan Pahang. Okay, ada ataupun orang asli in Pekan Pahang, dia tak nak dia malu, okay, nak pergi kerja ke apalah, contohlah and then you need to have some background lah, information about project description, then you need to find your user. Yang inilah, you need to find the user. At least kalau design thinking ni, you need to have multiple user. Dia tak macam survey, because survey you hantar 500, 300 baru valid kan for you punya research. But for qualitative design thinking ni, sometimes 3 pun dah cukup, as long as you got deep insight of the people. Okay, dia memadai dengan you interview hours tu, kira lah kalau you interview 2 jam, kita dah kira rich data dah tu. Okay, so di sini you boleh tengok lah, kalau dekat sini you kena describe lah your user. Ini yang kita kata kadang-kadang you boleh start dengan develop your persona dulu. Okay, persona tu dia fiction. Dia tak perlu you ada pun orang yang betul. You kena andaikan, okay, katalah project headline you adalah about food security among Semalai people dekat Pekan Pahang. Tandanya diorang ada problem sebab hutan semua dah kena potong kan, dah kena ni, so diorang dah tak boleh pergi berburu semua tu. So apa isu yang you kena tahu dari they all? So you kena pergi yang you kena ada fiction, sebab you tak tahu lagi user you siapa kan. So you need to have your own fiction, fiction of you punya user. Okay, mungkin you letak fiction 1, ketua kampung, fiction 2 siapa. So fiction dulu untuk you punya persona yang mewakili kelompok yang you akan interview tu nanti. Okay, alright, so then after that, bila you dah identify who you gonna interview, then you need to have you punya plan, you punya empathy session. Mesti plan, tak boleh pergi terus ni, tak ada. You need to plan first. Okay, so normally you need to gang up with your research team. You need to plan your empathy session. Okay, how you conduct your empathy, who do you need to engage with, where you can find them, what are the questions that you can ask. You need to remember, because bila kita involve with qualitative research ni, with the design thinking empathy session ni, dia involve duit ya, because you need to go at that place, you need to be there, you need to be a few days with them, so semua involve duit. So if you're not planning very well, dia akan burst your budget for your company. So planning is really important. Alright, okay, then you plan your field work, what you want to do, who, when, where, okay, your place, okay, then prepare your interview, prepare what you want to do with the user, okay, then you need to get the information, you need to explore new ideas, alright, then how you not engage with them, because not all user they like to be interviewed in depth. So you need to really tahu do's and don't, because if let's say that you involve with orang asli, it's very hard for you to get them to talk, to speak out, sebab mereka malu. Okay, sorry, saya cakap Kedah sikit, semua tak panas, saya campur-campur lah. Right, I hope that you're okay with my combination language ni ya, minta maaf. Okay, alright, so bila kita tengok dekat sini, you need to plan your interview arch lah. That means how you nak talk to them, engage with them. So everything you need to do do's on and don't, because it's a proper planning before you pergi dekat you punya field trip. Alright, okay, then alright, you need to do your user map. Ni yang macam I cakap tadi, you need to identify unknowns and assumption too, because user is not necessary, it's a people. Okay, so you need to know also the stakeholder. Okay, there is a difference between user and stakeholder. Sometimes your user can be your stakeholder, but your stakeholder not necessary to be your user. So that means you really need to know who you will engage for your design thinking empathy session. All right, okay, so let's say that you have like a few people that you target for you to interview, then you need to assumption dia punya user, dia punya journey map, how they work. Okay, alright, so seterusnya we go to ni contohlah macam you all semua buat beginilah. So this is the sample that you need to plan. So you need to do brainstorming, you need to plan on question, you need to plan on the people, you need to plan on where you want to go, who you want to interview, when you need to interview, right? So proper planning, proper brainstorming with your group, and then you build your empathy probe. This is what we call empathy probe, because you need to plan what type of empathy session that you want. Normally kadang kalau you pakai interview script, then you create your own interview script lah. Okay, but nowadays we will go more deeper. We will have some probing, because when you have interview script, sometimes people can't see what you want to interview them. For design thinking, you can use multiple method and multiple way. So macam in our case, in my case, my research, I always use empathy probes. That means empathy probes ni dia kena topik lain lah, because it's quite large. Then we can have probing technique to probe the people to give more insight. Sometimes people, when you have probes, okay, dia more willingly to talk to you, because you got a very introvert punya, extrovert punya participant. Is hard for you. Okay, it's hard for you to get more info, because you tanya satu soalan, dia jawab satu. That is the interview session. But if you have probing with you, you have probe with you, like this one example lah, I give it to you. Maybe you have would you rather card, or you have like sorting card, you have a picture probe or newspaper headline which you showed it to them. So it's better because they have something for them to speak out to you. So you need to find what type of probes yang engage them more. All right. So this is the example lah. I give it to you. Okay. So I will, and then we will go to when you get all the information. When you get all the information, what is the data analysis that you will do? Okay, so this is the sample lah. When you got it, you of course you need to identify your user. Then you ni lah, you letak lah you punya persona punya demographic data tu. So di sini you need to know what the people say, what the people do, what they think, and what they feel. If you have like 5 participants, you need to have 5 different empathy map, because you need to have dia punya insight to individually. Okay, you tak boleh combine lagi, because you need to get all the information from one person to with the empathy map ni. Okay, alright. So I'll show you example lah on empathy map analysis yang kita pernah buat before this lah. Okay, normally this is the basic sample empathy map lah. We will use, I dah tunjuk banyak kali tadi. Alright, what you see their world, appreciate them as human being, you understand their feelings, okay, and you communicate their understanding. So this is your part dekat sini. So apa yang dia orang cakap, apa yang you rasa they feel, and you understand the feeling, then you communicate your understanding about each of the individual that you interview. Okay, all right. So this is another empathy map that is quite in depth, which is that you will write about what does your participant think and feel, what does your participant hear, does your participant see, and what does they say and do. And also you have to think about what you have to identify their pain and their gain for the issues. Alright, contoh yang tadilah, orang asli tak boleh pergi ke hutan tu, what they feel, okay, what do they hear, what do they see, and what they say and do. Apa pain, apa gain, okay, they dah hilang sumber pendapatan, contohlah, what they gain, at least they got new facilities at their punya tempat, apa benda semua tu lah. Okay, so you need to develop your empathy map well. Okay, so this one, it's like your own interpretation of the people you interview. If let's say that your group pergi interview, you need to do your empathy map with the group. Jangan bagi orang lain yang buat, yang tak pergi interview, because they are not there with the people. They are not there with the human. They are not there with the user. So you are the one that with them, and you need to do the development of your empathy map. Okay, all right, so this is another one of empathy map. So I give you a few examples. You can use it as your references. Okay, all right, so another one, this is my empathy map from our students before, which they use the similar concept. What does they say, what does they think, what does they do, and what does they feel. Okay, so normally you will use keywords. Okay, you will use keyword, or you will use a sentence that really show what they think, what they feel. All right, so this is the example of the empathy map, and that one, this is not from our research. Okay, this is from our research. Okay, all right, so this is like our research about the homeless people in Kuala Lumpur. So how we can help them to improve their experience. What do they need? Okay, so bila kita the student yang ini our research ni dengan kebenaran lah, we pamerkan muka dia lah with ethics, we need to ask the consent from these people. Then he said that no problem to publish my face. Okay, so they create the persona of this person. Before this they create a fiction, macam saya kata dulu. Okay, you target, okay, siapa you nak pergi, and then bila you pergi ke tempat kejadian, you nampak the actual people yang similar with your fiction, then you pergi and approach the person. Alright, so this is one of the person. When they go and they interview the person, so they create a persona punya behavior profile and needs about this, and this is the finalized of the empathy map lah about this person, what he say, what he does, what he thinks, and what he feel. Okay, so sebelum ni kita ada empathy map in depth, but for this one, yang ini kita dah pilih what is really accurately to convey what he says, think and feel and does he rasa lah. Okay, alright, so seterusnya then ini lagi satu lah daripada empathy map yang seterusnya lah, our participant before this. So also she agreed her face untuk kita publish to our research and everything. So this is one example lah. I want to find money, I want to eat and stay, I want something reliable. Ini dia cakap. Okay, and what she thinks. Okay, she thinks that what else I'm missing, where is my family, should I just die? So itu kita rasa macam wow, they really feel hopeless about themselves, alright? Then apa yang dia buat? Okay, so dia pergi cari kerja, changing herself into making some decision, helping people, they help each other. What she feel? Dia rasa takut, dia rasa doubt, dia rasa alone. So ini adalah final empathy map for each of the participant yang kita dapat. Okay, alright. I hope that at least you got the overview lah what is empathy map ya. Sebab kalau saya nak explain in depth ni, dia tak cukup untuk hari ni. Dia kena ada few course dengan you. Kita buat sekali. You need to train to do this, alright? Okay, then that is the process one lah, empathy. Alright, now we go for the second process is define. Selepas you buat empathy, alright, you kena define. Because ini baru you dapat overview of what they feel, what they think, and you need to do define. So innovation ni dalam strategic management or innovation management, it depends heavily on how we frame the problem. Okay, we need to narrow down the problems because not all problem we can solve. Okay, so that means we need to think what are the problems that we can solve beyond our limitation. All right, so you narrow down the problem untuk broader opportunity. If the problem, they say that they need money, do you think that you can solve? They said that I want to die. So if you think that the problem is not for you to solve, then you narrow down the solution that you need. Sebab macam saya kata tadi, Malaysia, contoh we have a lot of problems, we have a lot of ministry, not every problem ministry can solve, so they narrow down that problem, they focus that the most crucial problem. Okay, if the most crucial problem tak boleh solve, then we go to another second crucial problem. Itu sample lah. Okay, alright, so define. So sama juga, I pick from the system concept proposal as you punya guideline. Alright, so when you do define session ni, you need to revisit unknown situation or a new knowledge from you. So that means from the empathy map lah. You need to revisit all your participant punya empathy map untuk you find the actual story to tell. The actual problem that they have. Because you interview 5 people. Contohnya you interview the homeless people. 5 people kan? What is the main similarity that they have that you really need to solve the problem? So that is when you generate a problem statement. Itu yang you generate your problem statement, combine with all the people, then you record the problem and you make a consideration what problem that you need to solve. Alright? Okay, so this is that during the define session. So normally we call it as linear unpacking because you unpack for everyone. So let's say that you have 3 participants. So you combine each participant, ni contoh, on what you notice, what you discover, how you can help them from this. So it will be a game changing if you can propose a center kitchen for the homeless people to eat. Ni sample lah. Okay, so normally this is gonna be your consideration to help and to solve the issues. Okay, alright. So after you do your linear unpacking ni, alright, then you can make your own POV. Sini yang kita kata POV, your point of view. That means you combine everything about the participant and this gonna be your final design statement on what you will propose to help the people. Okay, so as I mentioned it to you, innovation really rely on how you frame the problem. Okay, dia ada banyak innovation lah. You dah belajar kan, kita ada incremental, we have agile, we have radical innovation. So all different way. So bila radical innovation ni dia tak involve people pun. Sometimes dia terus ke teknologi. Itu yang you kena ingat. Design thinking ni dia kena involve people. Okay, dia kena ada starting point about your empathy session tu. Okay, alright, then we go to the next one. Ni contoh untuk your linear unpacking for define. So you can combine the whole thing of the people and saya tunjuk dekat you sample of POV lah yang kita dah buat. So yang ini simple of POV combination with few people lah. So maybe some of your people akan cakap because you come from innovation management, business management kan. Is it valid? We only have like 5 people. Is it valid? Because normally we need to interview like 200, 300. For qualitative, for design thinking, it's valid. Sometimes even 1 people valid. Depends pada what type of research you buat. Contoh, katalah you study about IKEA punya ni and then you interview seorang sahaja iaitu the owner of IKEA. You dapat yang betul-betul professional punya ni, valid tak seorang? Valid. Okay, so it depends on the situation and it depends to siapa you interview. Okay, macam in my case, I interview yang I buat dengan Lego company, I interview 7 sahaja. But I got a really people yang buat Lego movie. Okay, so memang professional punya people. So that means it's valid. So it depends on what type of people, company yang you buat research tu. Okay, so kalau in this case, 5 valid because in-depth interview with your user. Okay, alright, so inilah saya bagi contoh. You combine what you notice, what you amazed to discover and how you can help them to solve the issue. So inilah, ini yang your clearly statement that will help you further to go for the next stage. Alright, okay, seterusnya next step is ideate. Okay, bila you dapat you punya conclusion, it will be a game changing to do what? Okay, then you ideate. Alright, so this stage is especially relevant for innovation lah because this is your idea development. Okay, instead for your searching one perfect answer, alright, one perfect answer, we need more multiple possibility. So during ideation, jangan fix your idea to only satu. Contoh, katalah you kata tadi, oh okay, for the homeless people, I need to do a center kitchen. That is one idea. What else you can help them? Because they all lapar kan. Maybe you can help them to become an entrepreneur, to buat business ataupun they become a service punya ni, pergi cuci-cuci apa semua, then they got the food. So itu yang I kata generate multiple possibility, not only one. Because if you have one, then it's going to be a headache for you to develop because suddenly at the end when you develop, then you find out that that is not possible. That is not a good game changing for the people. Okay, alright. So idea ni sama juga, I pick up the guideline from the system concept, which is that of course when you ideate, you need to know your user needs. Mesti tahu user needs ni. Apa yang dia orang perlukan. Jangan design benda yang orang tak perlu. Okay. Yang itu kalau orang tak perlu tu is radical innovation because you propose something that they never use. For design thinking, you need to make sure that keperluan is really important. Okay. And then you need to have a multifunctional team. That means you're a designer, you need to have engineer with you, you need to have IT management with you, you need to have marketing people, kena combine. Bila you design on your own, it will be a stuck or fixation. You akan fix. Okay, alright, then lay down the rules, okay. You need to separate your idea generation and evaluation and think about how to communicate your ideas, okay. Not everyone is a designer, okay. So that means when you people ni kalau dia cakap idea ni, sometimes kalau designer they think about sketching. Actually it can be more. Alright, so I bagi you sample, okay. So some people yang ini normally for designer lah. Macam X idea ni, they have a typology of few creative process method to develop ideas. Okay, so normally kita have initial ideas. Ni permulaan lah. Okay, my idea to develop a central kitchen. Then you develop more raw idea. What type of central kitchen? Satu maybe like food stall. Satu maybe like one center building that people can go, or satu lagi maybe online punya central kitchen. So when they letak apps tu, people they dapat makanan, orang tu hantar food kat them. Okay, so ni contoh lah. Okay, then they develop the idea, they design realistic idea concept, evaluation. So ini yang nampak ni dekat sini, dia akan iteratively, dia akan berubah. Okay, lepas tu barulah dia create tangible ideas lah. Okay, so this is the flow of evolution of ideas. Okay, then saya akan tunjuk juga few method yang dipropose lah untuk you dapatkan idea kalau you tak nak start dengan sketching. So we call it as a HMW, rapid fire. So yang ini can be a starting point for you to have your initial idea. Alright, so satu column macam ni contoh, 1 minute of the idea. So you have 8 column. So you give multiple possibility for you to develop the ideas for the people. Okay, so jangan stuck because 1 minute per idea ni you just draw. And the other one is about brain writing. Whatever that you think, you write. Okay, so each person they have like 3 minutes to jot down idea about what you think that will help the people. So ni contoh je tau. Actually dalam method ni berlambak. Okay, untuk idea, untuk searching for ideas sangat banyak. Okay, so ini saya bagi as a guideline. Contoh sahaja bagi bukan yang boleh melukis. Okay, normally you can do like mind mapping. Ni selama semualah. So mind mapping, dia ada level 1, level 2, level 3 mind mapping. So normally level 1 ni preliminary idea, level 2 you expand on your idea, level 3 you will add the details on your idea. So mind mapping pun kena speed up. Sebab people when you speed up, you can get more idea. Tapi bila they give you like 1 day to think, that is not idea lagi dah. Itu adalah you punya constraint on development of the idea. Mula-mula you kena cepat because that is, we call it as a fresh idea solution. Okay, then next one, reverse thinking. You kena tengok balik and then you reverse thinking. Ni contoh lah yang saya bagi. Okay, and then industry swap. Okay, so nanti you boleh ambil notes ni dan you boleh baca dan you boleh tengok lah lagi sebab because I nak cerita you ni slide saya ada banyak on visual because hari ni is not in depth on every step because it's only a fundamental basic of design thinking which I want you to know on each step tu dia sebenarnya apa. Okay, alright, then we go to the next one. It's like common method used by the designer and engineer is a quick sketching. So they start to sketch the idea. Alright, they sketch, they visualize, and then they make a rough form. What can be do with this rough form, then they develop lagi lah. So ni normally kita lah, from saya punya part lah untuk designer, we start sketching. Tapi we start juga dengan mind mapping sometime, brainstorming. Yeah, we did all. As long as method for ideation, we use it. So banyak, beratus method. So itu yang saya kata, if let's say that we want to talk about it, it's really a lot. Okay, alright, so this is the ideation. Then this is the sample of ideation. When we do that, we do our our rough sketches, then we focus on to develop the idea. Don't think about a perfect drawing. Tak perlu pun lagi, because it only need to have rough idea. We need to do some possibility before we refine the best solution. Okay, all right. Then after we develop the idea, all right, after we develop the idea, we refine the idea, then we start to develop the prototypes. Okay, you need to remember, prototype is not the final product. Okay, prototype is a learning tool. Okay, the goal for this prototype you need to remember is not perfection. Tak boleh. Jangan ingat you need to do a perfect prototype. No. It can be low fidelity and it can be high fidelity. So the goal for prototype is to test your assumption quickly and cheaply before we invest to a major resources. All right. Okay. So for prototype, also I'll take from the similar guideline from System Concept, which is that you always need to know, you need to keep the user in mind. Who is your user? And then you need to plan your testing. You need to take your action, because if you fail early in strategic management, it's good. Don't fail at the end of your innovation. You need to fail early, then you can iteratively change. Okay, so you need to choose the right tools and method for your prototype. Some people, maybe you only use a paper as your prototype. Some people you do a 3D development. Some people maybe they use AR. Yang tu semua I will show you maybe next session ke apalah. Okay, because hari ni I will only show the fundamental, yeah, because prototype ni is really large, it's really huge, and it's really general terminology. Okay. Alright, then you need to record your question, yeah, for testing. Bila ada prototype ni, of course you need to testing. So in product design domain, ini some of our prototype lah. This is the project that we did with orang asli using design thinking. So we have our own prototype and we create a low fidelity prototype. So this is we call low fidelity because we want to know what is the consequences of this design. So dia perlu tahu apa keburukan and kebaikan, then we need to improve. So that is why we say we fail early. Jangan fail at the end when your product dah complete. So itu bahaya. Okay. Alright. So this is the sample and this is the testing. Nampak? So kalau you nampak tadi ingat besar kan? So this is during the COVID session. We can't go. Tak boleh keluar kan? So we only create a testing because we need to know is it ergonomic or not? Is it suitable for the human punya anthropometric data? So we use a testing method with a scale model Barbie doll because we calculate dia punya scale, then we create a prototype that similar scale with the Barbie doll. Alright, because this is kita kata tadi planning tu. Sometimes you have really limited source, ya. Nak keluar tak boleh semua, then you need to identify how to do your testing. Sebab testing ni pun involve duit, involve money. So nanti saya tunjuk dekat you all yang ada yang kita buat testing betul-betul, ada yang kita buat testing with user, with designer, with the scale model. So ni contoh lah. Okay. Alright. So after your prototype, tadi saya dah cerita sikit lah. Ni final stage lah. Ini bila kita, maksud saya you follow the non-linear process but dia iteratively test, then build up prototype again. Okay. Kalau saya sentuh Dyson Dyson company tu, dia buat vacuum dia ada 500 prototype. Okay, 500 prototype. So you imagine how dia punya iteratively change, testing. That is what we say iterative tu. Okay, after you test, you revise balik, you implement semula, and then you test. Okay, so normally test ni is a final stage of design thinking. Alright, so this stage is involve testing, prototype. You got feedback from the user because you want to refine your product. You want to refine your service. But hari ni saya tak cerita on service lah because it's a different thing. So hari ni saya banyak focus on product development. Okay, alright. So test. How to gather feedback from real target user. Normally for testing, you need to get the info, the insight from the real target user. Your product. Okay, let's say if your design hair dryer, you need to test with the woman that use hair dryer. Tak boleh test dengan sama-sama you. tak boleh. Okay, you kena pergi ke actual target user. But you as a designer, you user tak guna hair dryer? Ya. Kalau you user guna hair dryer, bolehlah test untuk you. Itu yang you kena betul-betul identify who is the user, who is the people, who is the stakeholder. By you continually testing and iterating you punya produk ni, you can create a better solution that meet the needs of your final user needs, right? So you will provide a better overall experience. Testing mesti kena buat because you need to know dia punya user experience in related with your product. So yang ini system concept give you a guideline. So you revisit scope and testing, identify who you gonna test with, you consider your research logistic, test your solution with your user, iterate and test again and again. Okay, all right. So why? Sometimes we call it as a usability test because we need to know either your product is usable to use or not because we want to know the uncover problem of the design. This is what we mentioned it to you just now. Fail early, okay? Test often. That means you need to often test your product before for you to uncover the problem that comes with your design. Okay, then with usability tests, you can discover opportunity, which that you improve the design. And also it helps you to learn about the user, behavior and preferences. Are we good, everyone? Is it okay? Any questions so far? Okay, so I will continue, yeah? Okay, I will continue with the next one. So I show you on one of our project, which we test with the actual user. Okay, so then you need to know the persona siapa, the scenario that they test. So this is the project about untuk cover potholes on the roads, okay, because this is a community project with Zoo Negara Malaysia. So they need to go outside, even though that they can't go and test in Zoo Negara because it consume time, consume money. So we need to find an actual location for you to test it. All right. So this is like sample lah. Okay. I just show you the fundamental dulu, yeah. Okay. So they test it, and then what is the pain? What is the gain point? What is the problem? What is the opportunity? What is the user preferences? So we look at it and we take note about what we need to revise. Okay. So this is also the same. But when you design something that is so big, like it's like full scale punya product, you can't test with like sebab they consume duit kan, so you can do a testing with a scale model lah. Ni contoh lah. Then you need to create your storyboard, you need testing with the actual model untuk you tengok on is it like valid the size, is it ergonomic for the people to view. Yang ini dia propose aquarium 360 aquarium untuk museum, because bila dia museum pula, sorry, bila dia pergi Zoo Negara, dia tengok, dia pergi buat empathy map about aquarium dekat zoo tu, people say that it's really boring, they can't clearly see the fish on how it move, okay, and then it's like flat surfaces. So he proposed this this researcher, they proposed 360 terrarium aquarium for people to have more experience to view the fish, okay. So this one pun banyak, but I need to like make it very fundamental, very surfaces on what is design thinking, so I just make it quick, okay. All right, so now I would like to share you with several examples here from my own design practice on how design thinking operate in real life project. Okay, so one important point is that design thinking rarely produce only one solution. Tak, dia akan banyak solution, and it usually will create multiple pathway in your refining your final direction. Okay, so I will share you real life project. My project with we call it hotel amenities. This is a collaboration project with Grand Ion The Element Genting Highlands, ya. So sorry lah kecil ni kalau you nampak. Then before we develop this project, so this is really a live project with that company, with Grand Ion The Element Hotel Genting Highlands. Do we need to create a project brief dulu lah, and then we need to discuss with with the Grand Ion, the element, the brief on what we do, and then we start to develop the product. Okay, the first thing, of course, you as a strategic management or innovator, you need to have the definition of amenity, because that's why I said define. Tadi kita tunjukkan design process, empathy, semua tu kan. So during this project, it's not started with empathy. It started with define dulu. We define what is amenity. So we find the definition, we find what is the definition of amenities, because some people, they don't know amenities is what. They only think that hotel amenities is like only like coffee, free coffee. They don't know that free parking is amenities, room is amenities. So amenities in large concept is really a huge term for facilities that have in the hotel. Okay, all right, so ni saya just like make it quick lah for this one, because this is all like visual, because I want to show you on how we use design thinking to develop this hotel amenities. Yeah, all right, so you need to identify dulu the user. Itu yang kita kata tadi fiction tu. You need to identify who is the user that visiting or stayed at the hotel as a guest hotel. So from this research, we know that business traveler, vacation traveler, couple traveler. Okay, so we know that that is the type of traveler that goes to the hotel, and we identify existing amenities that the hotel produce, okay, or they give to the visitors, okay. So that this one, they have a premium coffee. So we study like another hotel, what type of premium coffee they gave to the visitor, and then prayer equipment, what type of prayer equipment they give. Then we check the whole Grand Ion, the element, what type of prayer equipment they produce. Another hotel, what type of they produce. Then toiletries, what type of toiletries they give. Outlet, itu yang kita kata, some people they don't know that amenities also is a wall outlets, okay, electrical outlet pun consider as amenities. Okay, tissue box, coffee kit, yang ini normal encounter lah of the hotel amenities that we have. Okay, then electric kettle, of course semua hotel give you electric kettle, bathrobe, free breakfast also consider as amenities, sewing kit. So we identify pillow, span, mobile check-in, this is also amenities. VIP shopping, amenities. Then we identify again portable cutlery, in-room tablet, hobby, in-room cocktail station. So banyaklah. Dari sini there's a lot of hotel amenities provided. So in depth, we need to know first what we're trying to solve. So what we do is we're trying to solve what are the hotel amenities that have been giving to the guest hotel, and what are the challenge and issues with the hotel amenities. So ni sample ya. Okay, there's a lot lah dia kena cari. And then they create a fiction of the business traveler, vacation traveler, and couple traveler. So they need to know about demographic market, psychographic market, behavioral market, geographic market, and assumption about them, what they need for the hotel amenities. Why you need to do this? Because you need to plan your empathy session. So kalau you tak the fiction of your personas, then it's hard for you to start to develop what your empathy session will be. Apa yang you nak interview them, what probes that you want to use, okay? So like this case, I make it short lah, because actually there's a lot more lah. So we pick hotel amenities one in a room games. We want to know about in-room games, that what the people feel about in-room games that provided by Grand Ion the Element. So this one we study, they have board game, puzzle game, exploration game, and we need to know the background of the in-room games too, because it really help you to develop your interview and probing techniques for empathy session. Okay, all right, then after we got the information, then we start to develop our empathy probes for indoor game. Then we start to develop our own question, what type of question that we will ask the persona or the people or the user, and then we start to use, after the interview, we use emotion card. Ini yang I call tadi, I explain to you, probing tu, empathy probes tu. Because if you have something visual, people can more attach to you, more engaged to you. So emotion card ni, we want them to feel the hotel up. What is how you feel if the hotel provided board games in your hotel room. So 1 star, 2 star, and then we give them for them to pick the card. Okay, and then we also give them would you rather card, and we give them a sorting card, and also we give them a category of like this one. So we give probing like this, so they can see and they feel. We all, that is parallel, yeah. We interview, we give them probing. Probing ni sebenarnya banyak, okay, tapi ni salah satu contoh lah yang we use this method for our empathy session for this project. Then we planning. Ni planning. Even planning pun, you need to have a proper planning. So the first one, you greet the person, ask a question, and then you use your probing card. For a deeper information, you use a sorting card, and then you give another card to them, and you explore a new idea with another probing cards. Okay, so you need your plan, because if you do not have a plan, it's so it will be a limitation for you, because bila you pergi jumpa your user, you dah start. So the planning need to be in a proper way. Need to have a proper planning, and you kena document your proper planning ni, because this is your documentation. Everything that you do for your innovation process need to have a proper documentation. Mesti ada dokumen, sebab itulah your process. Okay, your process, alright? Okay, then before they go, you kena buat pilot test. Mesti kena buat pilot test dulu. Because you want to know what is the problem, consequences, ataupun apa isu dengan soalan-soalan you ni. So we need to do all the pilot test. So pilot test ni, it can be with anyone lah. Yang siapa yang dah pernah stay at hotel or anyone, because you need to do the pilot test. Then you nampak what is the solution or implementation that you can improve your solution ni. Okay, alright, so this is the sample lah. Okay, dia buat in room game tu, dia testing with pilot test. Lepas tu dia buat selected headline ni untuk dia punya interview nanti. And then this is the data that he get. Okay, this is the interview. This is the interview script yang dia buat. Okay, so it's easy. Interview script pun normally kalau dalam design thinking ni, kita akan pakai yang benda yang fast, simplified version. Sebab kalau you nak transcribe, it's very hard for you. Okay, if let's say that like this one, dia tick sahaja. For if let's say that you could bawa recording kan, you kena dengar, you kena transcribe all the information. Tapi tu lain punya method lah. Itu yang saya kata tadi, there's a lot of method, there's a lot of way, 1,000 ways to do interview, 1,000 ways to do data analysis. Okay, not necessary traditional way. Okay, like you interview, you transcribe the data sampai 500 script semua tu. Now we have more than that. Okay, alright, so contoh lah and then he got the issue and the problem, and dia dapatkan dulu issues and the problem about Grand Ion the element from internet, from Google, for him to make sure that he revise his planning for the interview. Okay, so bila dah settle semua tu, okay, dah settle for your empathy map, you get the data from your information, then we did the linear unpacking. So this is the define section. Okay, tadi empathy kan, yang ni define section. Okay, so for the define linear unpacking ni sample lah. Okay, so we need to do the demographic data dulu for each of you punya participant. So nama, age, profession, salary, behavior, house, experience, goal. So whatever demographic that related with your project, you need to add on. Okay, is it religion related? If not, then you omit the demographic data. So salary, is it important? Yeah, because we want to know what type of user yang pergi ke Grand Ion the element, what type of behavior they want, because we want to develop in-house punya game for them. Okay, alright. For the next one, this is the sample lah. Lepas demographic data yang I explain dekat you tadi on each of your participant, then you need to do the linear unpacking. So like this case, we do linear unpacking individually because we want to know in depth about what they needs, what they want. Okay, so when we notice, we amaze, and then what would be a game changing for them. So what type of game that we think that can provide to them. So contohlah ni okay, so linear unpacking for persona 2, persona 3, persona 4, 5, we have 5, 6, and then baru we keluarkan our point of view. We met, we noticed, we amazed to discover, and what will be the game changing for the user. So normally we will look on this one, we will narrow the scope of the consideration that we should propose. So this is define. Okay, define Okay. Then at least I tunjuk sikit sample dekat you the type of empathy probes that we use during the interview. So this is the sample of empathy probe. Okay, so we make a card. All right, so we make a card for them. So that means during the interview, we use the empathy probes for them to engage more with us. All right, so sample ya. All right, then yang ni interview planning, like I said. So this is the answering sheet which they got. Okay, then yang ini the finding for the empathy probe tadi. So the finding lah. I just make it like very basic lah sample untuk you all tengok lah. So ni how when they give the probe punya orang tu jawab bagaimana. Okay, and then this is the answer they use during the interview with the probing. All right. Okay. I hope that everyone is okay. Is it okay? Is it clear, the information, or is it like very confusing? Okay kah? Alright Okay, I continue lah. Alright, so semua Sabtu ni semua ngantuk, tidur tak kerja. Maaf lah kita buat hari ni. Okay, dan seterusnya we go for the question of our empathy probe. So this is the answer lah. 3.7 said yes. So this is the point of view, the data analysis lah we get by using the empathy probes. Okay, then we go lagi. I just like make it quick so kalau you nampak, this is the part 1 question that using the empathy probe. What is the answer? Nampak ni U1, U2 ni saya user 1, user 2, user 3 lah, like that. Okay, so yang ini probing yang diguna. Okay, so part 2 question, another probe, so right. Then part 3 question, also another probe. Okay, and then we start with a probing analysis, what type of probing that they prefer, and this one they show the highest choice for interest you to play is which number daripada yang probing yang diberi ni lah. So nanti yang ni lagi panjang kalau saya nak explain, but hari ni kita make it like very quick and fast lah ya. Alright, then seterusnya we need to do our conclusion finding from what we get from our define tadi. Define ni baru define. Sebab tadi empathy and define. Now this is the we got insight from literature, we got insight from empathy, we got insight from the interview empathy map just now. We compile all the insight and we have one conclusion. So this is like one conclusion. What is the problem we find? What is the problem we solve? We propose a concept that we think will be a game changing for all the users. So this project, we propose a wall game for the hotel as a hotel amenities. Okay, alright. Seterusnya, ini tadi ideate. Kita tadi dah masuk section empathy, define, and now we come to ideate. So ideate ni normally we propose a design concept. So ini initial idea. We propose a design statement. What is the design statement? What is the problem statement? What is the objective? What is the criteria we think the product will be? What is the design consideration? And the most important thing, who is your target user? So we propose a few concepts. As I said, for ideate, initial ideas, you need to make sure that you have a multiple ideas, not only one, because it will help you to develop more. Okay, so we have like 4 concepts. Here we have 5 concepts with a different statement. Okay, and then we start to do a design challenge. what are the challenge based from the insight? So the challenge is the user said they sometimes they just go to the hotel, they do not spend time together, people on the phone. Semua, the whole family will look at the phone. So they want a family bonding. They want something ready to play. They want something new experience and reduce stress, fun and entertaining, explore a new theme. And of course, they want to reduce screen because like every family, every people, no bonding anymore. They stay at the room. They only play with the phone. Everyone, almost everyone. That is the finding that we got. Okay. So that is the challenge that we need to solve. All right. So then from there, we develop a needs and goal. As I said, for you to ideate your project, your ideate your strategy or your goal, you need to know what is the people needs and goal. So what is their frustration? Okay, what is the frustration? So we develop that and then we finalize not fiction anymore, the actual user that really will use our product. Okay, then we got it. We want a family. We want something that have interest in hobbies. What is their attitude? What is their lifestyle? Because it's really important when you design something. Then we study their needs and goal. What is important, we take. Less important, we omit. So we think that they want something that play together, easy to play, safe to play, durable, fun game and surprise element. So less important that promote culture semua ni, we will embed later when we solve this first. Okay. So the needs and goal, we found this one. Okay. Then we identify value proposition. Okay. With our wall game, what can improve human behavior or human life? So this value proposition is really important when we start to develop the design. So ini during ideation tau. So it's macam tadi saya tunjuk sample-sample of ideation kan. So this is the sample of ideation you need to create. Okay. Alright. Then we create a value proposition, something that can play together in the room, interact with decoration, etc. etc. Okay. Then we create an opportunity statement for the project. Okay. So what is the opportunity that they can get when the hotel provided this type of wall game, right? So we create an opportunity canvas, okay? Or do we still have time, Fadlin? Alin, still yeah.
Still.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then the opportunity canvas, and then we start to draw. That is what I mentioned it to you just now. We don't need to use a proper form, proper sketches, only a very rough form because we want to fulfill the challenge. We need to do something stacking, slotting, balancing or something. Then we create we propose a few form that we think can improve the design challenge. Okay, just now I show you that we have a few design challenge. Then when we create the design challenge, now comes for the prototype. The confirmed design and everything during ideate, now we have our own prototype. So we create a low fidelity prototype dulu. Why low? Why not high? Because it will change. Okay, so we try to guna board, okay, and then we try to develop like low fidelity but actual board game that we propose. So this is low fidelity. We have like brainstorming. We test with our team first, then we evaluate the low fidelity mockup. So this is the evaluation. As I mentioned to you, design thinking, everything you need to record because that is your process. Because if you do not record your testing, it's gonna be a problem for you because you need to know the proof. Because like if you have a company, you need to present it to your management. You need to show on how to improve your design. Improvement constrain a lot of money. So the management need to know what is the improvement that you should do. Okay, so ini yang kita kata tadi, you testing and then you found the problem. And then you implement lagi. Tu yang iteratif tu. So normally kita akan buat analytical low fidelity mockup feedback lah. So you analyze apa problem, you minimize, you piece apa, you buat, you add on Malaysia element because you need something that have value to the people. And then the roller, the system, the technical stuff, then you need to improve. And then after that you buat implementation. you need to do again testing. That is why we revise, we test, we improve, we sketch again. So this one we test with user 1 and user 2. What are the problem found? What are the suggestion of idea? Testing ni it can be with the actual user and also with the expert. Selalunya kita akan tengok expert, maybe engineer ke apa, so they will know. So what type of testing that you want to test, you need to test. So during this time, we can see that they have a problem to move the roller, what we need to improve. That one, they give a suggestion for us to make an improvement. Okay, so spinner pun problem because they propose like we give a spinner kapal terbang, beca, perahu kan for this game, and the spinner also having a problem to jalan sini lah. So what we need to do, and then how to play the game. So everything we need to test. So testing, iteratively implement, testing again, create another prototype, then testing again, sketch again. So during this time, you can see that we add on iconic places in Malaysia based from suggestion. They said that better when we play the game, we should add on iconic places in Malaysia. So tourists from Malaysia will know the iconic places, then maybe they will stay longer at the hotel and they will go and visiting the place. So we identify Petronas, Penang, Genting, Sarawak and everything. So we create another implementation to add on iconic places. So when they play the game, I will show you on how they play the game lah. Alright, so ni, then we sketch again. Ideate again. That's why I said in design thinking, iterative. Dia bukan linear. Lepas buat prototype, you create lagi. You ideate lagi. And sometimes maybe you empathize again. So at this session, we stop empathize. We ideate, we prototype, we test. Ideate, we prototype, we test. Okay? Alright, then we start to sketch again, and then we create the actual implementation, and we try to test with virtual reality with the how to play the game, and then we sketch again, we ideate again, and then we create again, and then we say that this one, this car, we need to do more iconic Malaysia, so we create Proton X7 X50, and for the aeroplane we use AirAsia. And for the laut ni, we use our clearly traditional sampan Malaysia. Ni contoh je. Okay, then we start to sketch again to develop the wall, to develop the frame, and then to details drawing on the function. And this is the final design. So we got the final design with all the with all the iconic places in Malaysia and how to to play the game. Then we create an actual prototype. So this is dah ready punya project lah. The final prototype tak tunjuk pula dekat sini lah. But I will show you dia punya on how to play this one lah, based from design thinking punya kejap ya. Okay. Alright, so this is the animation on how they play the project based from our iteratively session. I think like multiple session, we try to change so many times and until to the final product. So that is how to play. So that is X70 and AirAsia and
Dia
the
main
other
3
one
orang
is
Doktor? Dia main 3 orang saja?
main 3 orang. Because this is like they can play, actually can add on more, but for this thing too, but this is like first prototype, we just add on 3 dulu lah.
Very nice, Doktor. Cantik. Cantik.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Project dia punya actual pun ada, nanti saya tunjuk kalau sempat lah. Okay, so dia punya, this is the animation lah. Okay, alright, then kita pergi kepada key takeaway lah daripada what I've been informed you. The key takeaway is like, you kena ingat to everyone, design thinking, they have 4 pillars, okay? Empathy is the most important thing. We need to know our user. We need to get deeper insight of what they needs and wants, okay? Then design thinking involve collaboration. You need to collaborate with people, all right? So that means if you're marketing, you need to involve with other people, maybe IT development, maybe engineer. It depends on what type of project you do. If let's say that you develop a chair, okay, for kids, so you kena ada collaborate dengan parents for the kid, with the kid itself, with the tadika, or with the stakeholder kilang yang propose your project to. Maybe, we don't know, okay. So collaboration is really important for design thinking. And then inclusion, you need to have inclusion in design thinking. And then you need to repeat and you need to iterate. Mesti. Alright, so repetition is a must because you need to improve whatever that you have proposed. And then in design thinking, you need to empathize with people's needs. You need to collaborate with other people across discipline. That is why, like Dr. Aline is like from business management. It's me from product design. Like me, we collaborate a lot. Nanti saya akan tunjuk on how we collaborate in design thinking. You mesti include every idea. Okay, is visible or form of evaluation. Sebab tak ada idea yang stupid idea. Every idea worth. And baru you tengok which idea that you need to narrow and repeat iterating as testing. So kalau you tengok dekat sini design thinking process ni, you tengok dekat sini, this is the design challenge to design solution. It shouldn't be a linear, macam ni dia straight je kan? No, okay. It can have a very uncertainty design solution and design challenge because it matters. Alright, and then dalam design thinking dia terlalu banyak school of thought and jangan macam you kata oh my design thinking is this one and you are not believe. Actually you're not believe from other people say. Actually the more the merrier. We just like focus on whatever we believe. Don't ever you encounter like, oh, you got it wrong. That is not design thinking because it's really a generic terminology. It can be different school of thought and it can be right. There's no right or wrong. Okay. Alright. So kalau saya tunjuk dekat sini, yang ini from design thinking, Stanford, IDEO. IDEO pun ada version 2 Dia dah buat inspiration, ideation ni dan Luma Institute ni Sweden, IBM dengan FSU Innovation. Tapi ada banyak lagi tau. Yang saya tak tunjuk dekat sini. So they have a different pace of design thinking, but they use design thinking. Okay, so next one, ini design thinking method and tool that we combine from semua ni, and dia punya apa method and tools yang you boleh pakai. Sebab saya kata tadi dah dalam empathy saja dia punya tool lain. Dalam ni pun empathy, dalam apa ideation saja dah beratus tool, beratus method. So there's no right or wrong. You need to explore. Okay. Alright, for the last one, just want to say, I ada lagi nak tunjuk sikit sample, but I would say for this slide lah, I would say to everyone, thank you so much for your attention. I hope today's session help demonstrate how design thinking can support innovation strategy and human-centered design problem. You need to remember it's beyond traditional design field, yeah. And I would be happy to show some more contoh sikit lah untuk you tengok from different perspective. Is it okay, Alin? I still have time?
Boleh, can?
Okay. So I stop sharing. Then I will show to you. Okay, kejap.
Okay. In the meantime, okay, there will be a quiz after class. So, but not you need to do during this hour. Okay, I will give you time until this Sunday for you to do the quiz. But it's not a form of the official assessment. It's just for the class. Okay, so I will give the quiz. Okay, after class nanti. So make sure you know. Okay, make sure you understand what Okay,
Okay.
what is design thinking?
Takutnya
Okay,
ada quiz. Okay. Alright.
yeah.
So now I just bagi tadi different perspective on yang just now is a product kan. Yang ni maybe we can have another thing another times, but I will show a bit lah about what project that we have done using using design thinking lah. So this is one of the project we have with Semelai with orang asli dekat Pahang lah. Betul lah Pahang tu dekat Tasik Bera. So we have we have a design community project with them. Memang we use design thinking lah. So yang ini I just want to show on cultural probe study. Probe study yang you nampak OCAD kan. Tapi during this session we use a probes yang betul-betul cultural value. So this is the sample lah. We use student explore with the student explore with the actual probes culture daripada kaum Semelai people with the tika, with the house, alright. And then kalau you tengok cultural probe ni is dia about inspiration for the people to talk more. Okay, so ni kalau kita tengok dekat sini yang inilah kita kena cari dulu the core problem. What is the core problem? So Semelai ni dia cultural heritage dia ada problem because dia tak ramai in Malaysia and they ada risk dia orang punya heritage ni because of modernism, deforestation and socio-economic transition. So dia punya cultural punya things tu dah makin hilang. Yang muda makin dah tak nak buat. So what we got, we use a design thinking way untuk we create a promotional product for Semelai community. So that means to promote the Semelai people lah. So kalau kita tengok di sini, we use cultural probe juga. Ni culture probe yang kita guna during empathy session, and also we use cultural probe menggunakan card juga to get more insight from the Semelai people. Then yang ini the product that we develop lah based from dia punya Semelai cultural inspiration. Then we develop something that is modern, relevant dengan follow the market trend. Okay, so ni actual product lah. So yang ni guna design thinking lah, panjang lah proses dia. Macam sama juga with I show you just now for the Grand Ion the Element. So yang ini untuk Semelai community. So kita pakai community centered design development, which that we use design thinking method, design thinking principle lah. So this is the final product lah that we develop that have Semelai punya element and heritage. Okay, alright, tu satu. Now saya nak tunjuk macam mana kita guna design thinking yang multidisciplinary tu. Saya buat co-creation workshop we build with them, not for them. This one is combination project. Bagaimana tadi kita buat project product kan itself, now is about to create awareness about save our limestone forest. How design thinking can create awareness untuk save our limestone forest. So this project we involve with UiTM Malaysia, QUT Australia, University Putra Malaysia, then we involve with local tourists and also secondary students in Langkawi. Kenapa kita involve 40 student in Langkawi? Because we believe that we need to create awareness from dia orang kecil lagi daripada budak. So the awareness should be there. So QUT Australia ni dia punya background is pure science. That's how design thinking can collaborate ya. Industrial designer UiTM Malaysia, University Putra Malaysia pakar on limestone forest. So we have 3 multidisciplinary collaboration with a local tourist and secondary student, how to create how to create them to save their limestone forest in Langkawi. So you can see lah, this is from the combination all the participant. Alright, then we can see that this goal is to promote collaboration lah, and we want to actively engage participant in developing idea. So kita guna Lego untuk create awareness and kita guna other material. So you can see that there's a lot of discussion, experimentation that the students from Pure Science and University Putra Malaysia Forestry tu they share with the student yang for secondary student tu during this session. They all buat semua ni lah, tapi ni later lah sebab dia panjang lagi kan. So just show on how they come up with the project on Limestone Park, which that Limestone Park promote awareness to future generation. So this is the sample from the group lah, based from the co-creation workshop that we did together, design thinking workshop that we did together. Okay, another project, this is improve awareness. Another project is service. That's why I said design thinking not only for tangible product development, it can be for service improvement. So we have a project with Museum Negara Malaysia, which that we want to improve service at the Museum Negara. So we use a design thinking method for the curator at Museum Negara to learn about empathy session on what the tourists or the visitor feel when they visit the museum. So this is like 4 days workshop, and the first one we use empathy mapping. So this is the one that I show you. We did together with them. They interview the visitor on the spot at the place with our student. So we combine the professional with the industrial design student, and also this is a collaboration with a Norwegian university. We bring all of the expert from professor from NTNU to be together with museum staff to develop, to improve their service by using design thinking. Okay, all right. So this is the workshop that we did with all the museum staff. Okay lah, just tunjuk dulu. And then outcome of the workshop, we create a storytelling on how the visitor will go and improve the experience. So this is what they develop from the interview and how they want to enhance the service at the museum. So you can see that this is the proposed inclusive, technology-driven, conducive, user-friendly. So they will do the presentation using this Lego with a storytelling style lah. Yang tu panjang lah, which that we can have it again nanti ke apalah ya. Okay, then ini juga our project with it's not Semelai, this one kaum temuan. Okay, so we use a cultural persona for this project, which is that we go and visit the temuan people. We got more information about their feeling, about how they're really worried about the younger generation, don't know how to swim, don't know how to go to hutan anymore, to the forest kan. So we get a whole thing about what is happening there. Okay, and then we did a demographic data because also they have a problem with food security issues, which that they do not ikan dah berkurang, apa binatang tak boleh berburu lagi, dah tak ada hutan lah, like that lah. Okay, so we did some demographic data with them, who that we interview. So this is the persona that we have with the detail on their behavior, needs, and profile. And then we have a deep immersion and ethnography with them. Okay, and then we go to visit their house to get more empathy with them, to study what actually happening to them. Okay, then we create a product with them. Okay, the next one is a sample case study with UNESCO. Okay, so yang ini pun we guna design thinking. We try to create a human-centered design approach lah for promotional product inspired by myth and legends Langkawi. So we got a grant from UNESCO on myth and legend Langkawi because nowadays the empathy, the issues and the problem is young generation, they don't know about Masuri anymore. They don't know about Sangga Lembai. They don't know because they more on Iron Man, Spider-Man and everything. So dah dilupakan kita punya culture tu. So what we try to propose, we need to promote again Masuri. Even younger generation yang pergi ke Langkawi, they forget about Masuri. Dia tak tahu pun. Bila kita tanya orang luar lah, especially, do you know Masuri? When during our empathy session, they said no, they don't know. Okay, they don't know anything. So we think that we need to promote Masuri punya ni lah. So ni salah satu, kalau you tengok dekat sini, promotional product which that people can get close more to our portable house of Rumah Masuri, which we can bring as a educational tools to the school, to the people, to the exhibition for people to know. So yang ini sample, yang ni semua daripada design thinking process ya. So this is the bag that we inspired by one of the legend from Langkawi lah. So yang ini I tunjuk sikit lah on how we develop iconic science elements from Rumah Masuri for us to have the actual Rumah Masuri to bring to the actual audience based from our empathy session with the people at Langkawi. Alright, okay, ini satu lagi Mak Cincang. Okay, kita dah banyak sangat patung cute-cute, labubu and everything kan. So we try to create something yang similar with labubu that people would like to collect. So yang ini pun semua on baru macam initial phase lah. So we create a Mak Cincang and Mak Raya. So we create a project from myth and legend on how to get a very Malaysian look, Mak Cincang for the student, for the people, for the younger generation to appreciate, to create as a collector. Okay, so ni sample lah, ni actual product kita lah, tapi still on development. So he can talk, he can speak lah, tapi sikit je lah. So ni our Mak Cincang, which that we think that maybe our future generation can appreciate our own labubu ways, okay? Our fashion doll ways, right? Okay, then that's it. Another one, sorry, I just want to share one thing about okay, another project sikit lagi ya. Another project that we have, saya rasa saya pakai screen kot. Screen, okay, we check screen. Kejap.
Okay, boleh.
Okay ya, alright. Saya buka yang ni. Okay. Kita just tunjuk lagi satu projek yang kita guna Zoo Negara punya kejap. Yang tu sebenarnya saya nak explain tapi sebab kita ada kekangan masa, so saya just tunjuk dulu supaya you all alert lagi lah on how it goes. Kejap, kita pergi screen nanti you all nampak WhatsApp saya ni. Sat.
Tak apa.
Kejap, Sat. Dia, sebab dia kat tempat lain. Kejap, saya kena stop sharing.
Sekejap sikit.
Saya stop dulu. Terpaksalah pakai share ni juga Windows. Okay, alright. Okay, kita tunjuk dulu poster ni lah salah satu. Okay, alright. So kalau tengok dekat sini, okay, so ni salah satu poster lah based from kita punya project dengan Zoo Negara Malaysia, which is that we use totally design thinking. So kalau you nampak di sini, this is the project. Dia guna mula-mula dia empathize. Okay, kita ambil color. So kita nampak ni dia empathize kan the first session, and then the first session they define. Alright, what is the product? They buat linear unpacking, and then they study on persona journey map. So ni different sikit lah. And then we create our mockup testing. Ni gambar hilang pula dalam ni. Then we ideate, and then we do our prototype. So kalau you tengok, this is the project lah. On the apa yang kita guna our design community, we can have a sharing session of this one lah. So dia guna design thinking, full design thinking. Nampak tak kalau saya tukar ni? Okay, so yang ini pula yang aquarium tadi tu. So this is the design thinking process kalau you nampak dekat sini. So yang ini dia buat BioGlobe, which is that 360 punya ni. So dalam poster yang kalau if let's say that this project we need them to show on how they use design thinking process to get the idea. Okay, so kalau kita tengok, so you nampak lah. So this is the final lah on how family should use, how the product punya function, on how empathy map the function, how they guna empathize, how they guna define, how they ideate the product, how they create the prototype and test. Okay, another one, this one from the other solution, dia buat animaltronic 7 lah. So dia guna, we need them to show the process of design thinking that they use. So this one empathy map, kalau you tengok kat bawah tu dia punya define. Okay, then how they ideate untuk dapat idea tu. I kata ideate tu not necessary you sketches. Macam this student dia dah guna 3D terus, 3D development, and then dia buat testing, dia buat storyboard, and this is the final product. Okay, alright, itu sahaja from me. Thank you everyone. Do you have any question?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Siti Salwa. I think really matters design thinking. So let's open for Q&A. If any one of you have any questions, because it's not easy to get Dr. Siti Salwa. She's very, very busy. So her only free time is on Saturday. So anyone? Okay, one question for me, Dr. Salwa. You mentioned on the what do you call the Grand Ion Hotel, right? So sometimes we also need to do the competitor analysis. Is it something like competitor analysis?
Oh yeah, we have, of course, that one is like we need to do the competitor analysis, like Grand Ion Hotel. So what is the who is the competitor dekat Genting Highlands? But also we did the competitor analysis dekat KL and everything sebab dia within the KL area. So sometimes people don't want to stay at the Grand Ion the Element. They prefer to stay in KL. Then they should like every day to go to Genting. So what the hotel think is like they think that they have to propose more amenities for the people to stay at the hotel. Actually, the project, the amenities too, we have 14. No, sorry, we have 19 product actually. So I only show you one sample because we have 19 amenities that we propose to Grand Ion the Element.
Right, all right, got it. Okay. All right, anyone else? Any students wants to ask question? Okay, anyone else? Okay, I guess I think we need to end the class since that you know, it's quite a very intensive class, but you really did a really good crash course class, Dr. Sarwa. But of course, I think when we apply, I think they will understand better, and we will revisit your slides, and also, you know, I think if there's any questions, I think we will PM you. If there's any questions from the students, I think we will bring it to you as well. Yeah,
Okay.
for the
I
following
just
classes.
want to say because like maybe it's like macam dia berterabur sikit lah because like too many things to
Okay
say,
je.
too many things to share, right? And then I'm just saying sorry if like I combine my language because it's like I feel more nearer to you lah bila I cakap
Yeah, no
campur kan.
worries.
That's why I asked
Okay je.
Dr. Alin just now, do you have like international
Hmm.
students? If for international then we need to speak full English lah. Okay. So I hope that you can come to Brunei lah for everyone
Yeah.
here to collaborate with this faculty ke apakah lah.
Ya, boleh
Okay.
boleh buat mobility program.
Tapi
Where students
kebetulan
can
pula ya, Dr. Alin,
Yeah.
saya punya share tu kebanyakannya kat Pahang. Saya pun baru perasan Grand Ion the Element tu Pahang.
Yeah. That's very interesting to know. So I think they can resonate. They can really relate to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. So I guess that's all, Dr. Siti Sarwa. We shall meet again one day, and of course, we will learn a lot from you soon again. And thank you very much for having us, and also, you know, get to know more from the designer's perspective. Because we only know from the business management perspective. Yep. So okay, thank you very much, and have a nice weekend to all, and also to Dr. Salwa. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Take care
Bye.
everyone. Good luck
Okay,
for
take
your
care.
quiz.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, thank
bye-bye.
you, Doctor. Okay.
All right.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Doktor.
Okay, terima kasih.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you.